To you all, thank you for joining us this evening. In particular, I want to welcome in friendship and solidarity Mike Haynes, the brother of David Haynes, British humanitarian worker killed by IS, who has travelled from Dundee to be with us. Ahmed Nawaz and his father Muhammad Nawaz. Ahmed is a survivor of the Peshawar school attack, in which his brother Harris and 131 fellow students and 17 members of staff were killed by the Pakistani Taliban. Mike, Ahmed and Muhammad, we are so privileged and honoured to have you with us. Distinguished guests, may I please ask you, in a moment, to observe a minute's silence, holding in our prayers and thoughts the victims, their families and friends of terrorist violence in this city, but also the utterly despicable and cowardly attacks on the churches in Sri Lanka, mosques in New Zealand, and the synagogue in San Diego. Let us hold in our prayers and thoughts those suffering persecution, the dispossessed, the victims of war and conflict. Let us also remember the recent victims of knife crime in the city. May God grant the victims, their friends and families, strength to endure their loss and ease their pain through His mercy and compassion. My first thanks, of course, go to the Clothworkers Company, in particular their master for 2017-18, Carolyn Bolter, DL, who very kindly introduced me to this magnificent venue. Having read their motto, "My trust is in God alone," I thought to myself, could this be the venue for our service now? I posed the question, and following an email and my visit, the Clothworkers Company very generously offered to provide this venue. So lesson one, do not ever underestimate the ripple effect of a single act of kindness. This particular act of kindness from the Clothworkers Company has brought together well over 200 civic and faith leaders from across London and beyond. Not counting the effect each one of you in this room will have as you return to your communities. Second, I'd like to express my gratitude to Sayyid Mohsin Al-Khoei, Interfaith Director, Al-Khoei Foundation, and Dr. Richard Sutcliffe, the Secretary for Interreligious Affairs to the Archbishop of Canterbury, for their commitment, energy, and drive. Mohsin and Richard, thank you for agreeing to become our partners for this service. In particular, Mohsin, thank you for reaching out to me and embracing the concept of United for Peace when you attended the United for Peace service at Dorney Lake in 2016. Third, my deep gratitude to my dear friend and huge support for this initiative, Al-Khoei. Despite having a full-time job, Ella has taken care of all the logistics for today. I can assure you I would not be standing here if she wasn't helping me out today. The United for Peace initiative emerged in 2014 as a result of a number of factors. First, the utter barbarity and wickedness of the group calling itself Islamic State or Daesh. To witness their atrocities committed against minorities in the Middle East and against fellow Muslims was heartbreaking. Our first response as a foundation, with our partners, international partners, was to publish an open letter to the leader, fighters and supporters of the so-called Islamic State. This open letter is freely downloadable from our website and is endorsed by 125 Sunni scholars from across the Islamic world. It point by point undermines the shared theology, a theology of separateness that all modern-day terrorist groups claim Islamic legitimacy follow. This is important to bear in mind because this Kharijite theology teaches the negation of the faith of fellow Muslims who refuse to follow their extremism and therefore takes them as their legitimate targets for violence. The open letter to IS concludes by stating, and I quote this, "But, as can be seen from everything mentioned, you have misinterpreted Islam into a religion of harshness, brutality, torture, and murder. This is a great wrong, and an offense to Islam, to Muslims, and to the entire world." Second, we live in one of the most beautiful, kind, and compassionate countries in the world. Our country is an example of mutual respect and coexistence between people from diverse ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds. The aim of the Al-Khoei Foundation is to work to deepen understanding between this rich cultural and religious diversity, and at the same time to challenge and confront the narratives of both religious and the far-right violent extremists who have been gaining strength in mainland Europe and also here at home. A survey published in February 2019 showed that anti-Semitic attacks were up 74% in France and 60% in Germany. At home, the figures released by the Jewish charity Communities United Trust that monitors anti-Semitic attacks reported a 16% rise. Following the New Zealand mosque attacks, Islamophobic incidents increased in our country by 600%. This is and must be of concern to us all. If we add to this the power that e-technology has unleashed, especially for how individuals and groups who in the past might have had aspirations, but not the means of delivery of narratives of hate, division, and violence, are now able to do so with considerable ease through social media platforms to our collective detriment and sometimes to deadly effect. What can we do in the face of those advocating hatred, sowing the seeds of distrust, and using violence, seeking to impose their will upon the vast majority of decent people? I believe that the most powerful message we can send to advocates of hate, who seek to harm community relations and sow discord, is through being absolutely united. United in the values of love, compassion, and respect for one another. This service demonstrates that these values we all share, values that endure, values that will always overcome the narratives of hatred and violence. The challenge for us, the challenge for all of us in this modern age, is to proliferate our narratives via social media platforms, and thereby overwhelm those of hatred, division, and violence. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the service and will join us for the refreshments at the conclusion of the event. Thank
you. One of the cruel ironies of the attacks on Easter Sunday in Sri Lanka is that for Christians, Easter Sunday is a day where we see revealed that violence and death will not have the last word. What is wonderful about United for Peace is that we see a gathering of all faiths and none determined to say violence and death will not have the last word. So I'm privileged to have worked in some small way just with Monawar and Mercy just to establish this evening's sentiments. In a moment I'm going to say a prayer. It's a Christian prayer. It comes from the Church of England's Common Worship. It collects a prayer that we would say at certain times of the year. In the spirit of this evening, we're united for peace, but we bring all that is distinct and rich about our specific traditions. So when I say Amen, and that's a tradition in a number of our faiths to agree what is prayed, You do not need to agree with everything in the prayer. So there will be sentiments in the prayer that people of different faiths will not share. That's okay. Part of the spirit of this evening is that we come together peacefully in our difference. Our differences matter. There are richness to each other. So let that be the spirit of the prayer and the worship we witness and share together this evening. Some of it we can agree and join in. Some of it we listen and affirm respectfully. Let us pray. Let us pray to God, the only giver of peace to the church and to the world. Make your church an instrument of peace, teaching by word and example the way of reconciliation. Bless those who are working in areas of conflict to bring people together in the name of Christ. Bring peace to all the places of strife and violence. Fill the hearts of those in authority with the true love of peace and the desire to work for harmony with those who seem to be their enemies. Bless the organisations that seek peace between the nations. Give us peace in our homes, with our neighbours, and in our places of work. Inspire us with the love for others which may spread through them to heal the wider problems of the world. Have mercy on the victims of war and terrorism, the wounded, the refugees, those who have lost everything they had. Be with those who have no more hope, and restore them to the fullness of life that is in you. We make our prayers in the name of Christ, who has left his peace to his faithful people. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the Al-Khoei Foundation for the invitation to speak here. I am deeply honoured. I have a dream. Those words echoed round the world, filled the hearts of so many 56 years ago. I too have a dream. A dream where our differences are celebrated, our cultures are celebrated, our stories celebrated. A dream of equality in the eyes of all. A land where the humanity of mankind is foremost, where the hatred based on colour, culture, faith is castigated and shunned by the people of our country. It would be naive of me to say that everyone should start loving one another. The world should be as one. That we are all the same. That no matter our colour, culture, faith. I do not believe that. I may be going against the current here, but hear me out. Initially, we need to think about how the extremists of all types are working their evil in our communities. We need to think of how in their way they are influencing people. We need to study the methods of these perverters, these dividers. These extremists and hate mongers in our communities are working to polarise sections of our society. Essentially, their message is that people are different and that we all need to fear that which we are ignorant of, whether it be culture, language, faith, colour, sexuality. Now let's accept that we all are different. Yes, we are. We are different. Every single one of us. We all have a set of experiences that are unique, a set of beliefs that are personal to ourselves. Our past too, and within whatever faith we follow, are also unique. These experiences go to make up the very essence of all of us. The biology of every tree in the world is similar. However, all have different branch, root and leaf systems, and even when they are same species. Let us celebrate these differences. Let us shout out about how different we are, whilst embracing our common humanity. and there are some essential truths of mankind, that there is no doubt that we all, whatever our beliefs, colour, religion, culture, want to live in an environment which is safe. We want to be able to practice whatever religion we choose, free from persecution. We want to live in peace. I truly believe that the most effective way of challenging the extremist messaging is by promoting dialogue between people. If you belong to a place of worship, then as a congregation, invite a different faith in to meet, to share food, to share talk. If you live in a particular kind of community, invite people from a different community in to share food and talk. In these times of harsh words, harsher actions and high-profile polarising leaders, we are faced with a choice that will alter the landscape of this country, of the Britain's communities, more than both world wars ever did. A choice that will resonate down through the generations ahead of us. A choice that will either fracture our country or will unite us in a truly monumental way. That choice comes down to the very personal decision on whether to hate or to take a better path. Every terrorist attack that we see, whether it be the bombing of a teenage concert, whether it be running down of people outside their place of worship, the killing of partygoers in a London market, the massacring at a place of worship while people are in prayer, the killing of refugees as they flee for safety, all have the same aim. No matter their so-called rationale behind the attack, all acts of terror want to spread hatred. Their aim is not the amount of people they kill or maim. Their aim is the ripple effect of fear and hatred that they value. Just look at the after effects of the attacks in Christchurch. It's so important that we do not react the way the extremists, the terrorists want us to do. Do not get me wrong. I'm not asking you to turn the cheek and accept what has happened. I'm asking you to fight. Yes, fight. Fight not with words, not with fists, not with weapons, but fight with your heart and fight with your humanity. Walk away from your abuser, the extremist, the terror attack, and act in a way that makes a positive contribution to our society. It is in this way that we can face the challenges of the dividers and the hate-mongers and defeat them. Through my campaign, Global Acts of Unity, I have spoken with nearly 90,000 people in total, some half of them students, in dozens and dozens of venues across the land. In every presentation I give, I see people who are not motivated to make changes. Our youth are truly amazing. The determination I see from them to make a difference, to challenge hatred, to be honest, is humbling. Our youth are showing us the way. To finish, I say now is the time that we show that we accept our differences, our cultures, our faiths, our sexuality, our skin colour. A time when we stand up and say we are proud of our heritages, that it is our differences that make us strong, that no matter what colour, faith, culture, we are all British. And us Scots, us Irish, us Welsh, us English, us Brits, we reject your hate. You will not divide us.
responsive reading which follows, taken from Siddur Chadash, the Siddur of Liberal Judaism, weaves together both the Hebrew Bible and rabbinic teachings. If you're happy to join with me in reading responsively, then please do so. May God reach out to you in tenderness and give you peace. Great is peace, for the priestly benediction concludes with peace. Great is peace, for it outweighs all other blessings. Great is peace, for it is granted to those who repent, as it says, peace, peace to the far and the near, says the Eternal One. Great is peace, for it is granted to those who learn Torah, as it says, all your children shall be taught about God, and great shall be the peace of your children. Great is peace, for the Messianic age will begin with peace, as it says, how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of the messenger of good tidings, who announces peace. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace. As it says, its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. The world rests on three pillars: justice, truth, and peace. That is, both peace between nations and between individuals. May it be your will, O God, that war and bloodshed shall vanish from the earth, and that a great and glorious peace may reign forever in the world. Let every human being realize and understand the basic truth, that we have not been created for strife and discord, hatred and envy, but only that we shall come to know you, to whom all praise is due forever. In days to come, they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up sword against nation, and never again train for war. But everyone shall sit under their vine and under their fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor ever again train for war.
When we sing together, we breathe together. And it is said that when we sing together and when we breathe together, our hearts beat as one. So join me in this sound, please. And see if you can follow me in this.
Foundation for giving me the opportunity to be part of such an important event. And I hope you enjoy the reflections of Britain and back that I'd like to share with you.
injury and pain. O my Lord, please bring reconciliation where there is division, hatred, and enmity between your creation in different parts of the world. O my Lord, please grant us as a community of communities to be the voices of peace, love, and reconciliation for all creation. O my Lord, strengthen those who are working for peace, reconciliation, and healing wherever they may be in the world. O my Lord, bless this beautiful city with every blessing and make this event today an inspiration for others to be the voices of love and peace. O my Lord, grant us always to be united against the voices of hatred, division, and violence. O God, you are peace. From you comes peace, and to you returns peace. Enliven us with peace. Our Lord, enter us into paradise, the abode of peace. You are the most blessed, our Lord, the most exalted, the possessor of glory and nobility. O most merciful of the merciful, have mercy upon us, O you who are the most generous. Amen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out, find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Monawar Hussain, who has organized this incredible event, and I would like to thank him for inviting me here and giving me this honor to speak in this prestigious event. First of all, I would like to also appreciate some of the inspirational speeches that came before us. For example, my King's speech, very inspired. Also, there are some speeches that are yet to come, and I'm looking forward to them. Now, you might be thinking, what is an 18 years old standing in front of us here doing today? What can this 18 years old possibly talk about? Well, this 18 years old is a victim of terrorism. I've lost my younger brother along with 132 friends in an attack on my school in Pakistan, which happened on 16 December 2014, in which I was also badly injured as I was shot in that attack. First of all, let me just take you back to that day briefly and tell you about that day a little bit. the day of 16 December, and an unforgettable day of my life. Apart from the fact that I was shot on the day of 16 December, the things that I saw on that day is just unimaginable for a 14 years old at that time. On the morning of 16 December, I was with my friends in an assembly in the school hall, laughing, talking and joking when a group of men with guns and bombs in their hands entered our school and started firing one after another with no mercy. It was definitely the most shocking moment, the most astonishing moment of my life, because I always thought that school was a safe place, not a place where children would be brutally massacred. And all I could see was blood and killing, and soon I realized I was hit by a bullet too. I was laying on the ground bleeding heavily, and every next moment was worse than the past. I was surrounded by the dead bodies of my friends with whom I was laughing, talking and joking a few minutes ago. I saw my teacher burned alive right in front of my eyes, and I couldn't help her because my wounds did not let me help her. I myself had to pretend to be dead for hours in order to survive, because if the terrorists realized that I was still alive, they would have shot me until I died. After hours of pretending to be dead in order to survive, the rescuers finally came and then threw into an ambulance full of dead bodies, and I was brought to the hospital. That gave me hope that I may survive. In the hospital, I saw really badly injured and brutally killed students. That was a horrible thing. In that tragic situation, I had totally forgotten about my brother Haris, who was in the same school with me. The next morning, when I saw my parents, they looked very sad. I asked them, "Where is Haris?" And they replied, "Oh, convincing me that Haris is in another hospital." However, after about 15 days, I found out from my friends that Haris was still in that attack. My treatment couldn't really be done in Pakistan, so I was brought to the UK to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham for treatment, where I had about 11 operations. But it was not just the physical pain; it was the mental and the emotional trauma that me and my family and many of the families were going through. After that attack, when I saw the pain that my family was going through, you know what I realized at that moment? I realized that millions of people around the world suffer through the same pain every day, for different reasons, and that needs to stop. That was the moment, I believe, that my life totally changed. I decided that from this moment onwards, I will do the best I can to make sure that no one in this world ever suffers through the same things ever again. The terrorists targeted our school, and I think there is a reason behind it. The terrorists targeted our school because they fear us. It is not military or any of the forces that the terrorists fear, but it's young people in their schools, embracing knowledge, resisting hatred. The terrorists are terrified of young people educating themselves and everything that we represent, the hope and the potential that comes from educating young people. When I was in the hospital here in Birmingham, I heard the news about children from the UK running towards different terrorist groups in different countries. And when I heard this news, I was totally shocked. Because I was thinking that in a country so privileged, in the UK where children do not fear to be killed when they go to school, why do they want to go towards the terrorist groups? I was in a shock and I wanted to do something. I thought it was my responsibility to stop these children from going towards those terrorist groups and being radicalized. So I decided to start a campaign where I went to a lot of different schools, colleges, universities, and commitments to speak to the students and young people myself that I'm a victim of those terrorists towards whom you're going. They certainly, those people, do not belong to any religion. Because I believe religions do not teach violence. I believe it's not religions that have separated us, that have divided us, but it's our intolerance towards each other that has divided us today, that has divided our community. In a country like the UK, where we are so privileged to have so many different cultures, so many different religions, I believe we should cherish and value and celebrate all these differences. We can do this by integrating with each other, by learning about each other's religion. And I think this is one of the main reasons behind the misunderstanding, because we don't know about each other's religion. So we misunderstand the other religion, and that's how the problems in our society rise. I believe people of different religions should learn about each other, should integrate with each other. And that is how our society is going to clear any misunderstandings that we have. I believe we should transform our society into a society where young people don't grow up, where people don't grow up to hate people that are different, but rather we should transform this society into a society where young people grow up to be tolerant and compassionate towards people of other religious or cultural backgrounds. Now, I forgave the terrorists who attacked me, killed my brother and my friends. And do you know why? I forgave them because I believe it's our fault. It's our fault for not making sure that every person in our society gets the right to education and gets the right to right education. I believe if those terrorists who attacked us, if they had been literate and they had been educated, they had been provided the right education, they would have never carried out an attack like that. So that's why I believe that was our fault. And to avoid attacks like that in the future, we should make sure that people in our society gets the right education. In life, when an incident like this happens, I believe, people are faced with two choices. An incident of whichever, like any kind of incident happens, people are faced with two choices. You can either speak out, stand up, and take action, or you can stay quiet and carry on with your lives and just try to forget about the past. I chose to speak out, to stand up against all the problems, and to take action, to make sure that no one ever goes through this ever again, or a similar thing ever again. And I believe everyone in this room should do the same. I want to say this to everyone in this room, that we do not understand how powerful we are. We live in such a privileged country right now. Everyone here, you're really privileged. Your voice in this country really matters. The things that people here speak out about makes a difference in many other parts of the world. So I believe we should use this opportunity and this privilege that we have to speak out for the people that cannot speak out for themselves. People in our communities, people in our society that cannot speak out for themselves. We should speak out about any problems that we have in our societies, because I believe that is how we're going to solve all these problems. And we should speak out about anything, because we can make a difference. The world today, we know that is facing many problems. There are conflicts between religions, there are conflicts between nations. And I think we still have this extremist ideology in our societies. There are problems like gender inequality still existing in this modern society. And there are still people, even in the UK, that are deprived of the basic human rights. So I believe we should all take action. We should all take action and stand up in our societies to tackle all those problems. Because if we, in a more privileged country, don't do it, no one ever will. If we don't speak out for the people in other less privileged societies, or even in our society, people that cannot speak out for themselves, no one ever will speak out for them if we don't. And they will continue to suffer. just want to say just one thing to the parents sitting here, that we sometimes don't understand how powerful parents can be, how much influence they can have on their children. I believe when that attack happened, after that attack, if my parents hadn't supported me to do this, to take action against all these problems, and if they hadn't stood by my side, I believe I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today. So I would urge all of you to encourage your children to be change makers rather than bystanders, and to play an active role in their societies. So let's pledge that we will all do the best we can to make our society and other societies a peaceful and a better place for everyone to live in. Thank you very much.
Start the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Let us meditate on the glorious effulgence of the Supreme Being who has created the universe. May she enlighten our hearts and depth of understanding. Another very powerful mantra from the Rig Veda: Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. Only one God exists eternally, but the wise call him by many names. Elaboration: the diversity of religious traditions among human societies reflect the simple but profound idea: human beings pray to the Lord in whatever form they are most comfortable visualizing Him in. Hence, toleration for people with faith other than your own is an essential part of being human. Okay, two more peace prayers. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, may all be happy, may all be free from misery and sickness, may all be in harmony and friendship, and may all be free from pain. Om Dhyau Shanti Antariksha Shanti Prithvi Shanti Shanti Aka Shanti Roshadaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishvedevaha Shanti Dhamma Shanti Sarva Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Shama Shanti Redi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, let there be peace in the heavens, peace in the atmosphere, peace on earth. Let the waters be cooling, the herbs healing, and the plants enhancing life. Let there be harmony in between and peace for all beings in the universe. With perfection in knowledge, let peace prevail everywhere. May this peace be within me as well. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Jaswarancha Hatrimcha Vaiditham Ainamane Sarvashvashvastim Akshtishnashtim Laitishadaitim Advaitishtalavaitim Ashuddhavakshim Toktimashim Ashudhusim Vishavaneshim Bhavavaisamasti Ushasti Ushamai Yarashai Vaisai Yashem. My colleague, Mr. Martin, will be explaining you the meaning of Augustine prayer, which I repeated.
In the name of God, the bountiful, the bestower, the merciful. Now from this gathering, may there arise always righteousness, power of holy men and women, and the law of the Creator, our Master. May the good, heroic, and beneficent flourishes, the guardian spirits of the departed, of the righteous people, bringing with them the means of holiness as wide as the earth, as extensive as the oceans, and as exalted as the sun, come in this abode. May the flourishes fulfill the desires of the righteous people and increase the wealth and fame for withstanding the wicked people, especially those who misconstrue the holy words of the Creator. May in this world obedience triumph over disobedience. May peace triumph over discord. May religious pluralism triumph over religious extremism. May secular pluralism triumph over secular extremism. May political pluralism triumph over political extremism. May charity and generosity triumph over stinginess. May devotion and service triumph over contempt and apathy. May truth triumph over the lie and falsehood. May moral order and ethics triumph over chaos. May the glory, giving comfort and ease, happiness, offspring, and innate wisdom never leave this house. May the long friendship of Ashishwant, the generator of wealth, which gives comfort, never leave this house. Righteousness is the best good. It is happiness. Happiness is to him who is righteous for the sake of best righteousness. Amen. I would just like to thank you on behalf of the Zoroastrian community to the initiative taken by the Oxford Foundation and of course of the Secretary for the Interreligious Affairs of the Archbishop of Canterbury, the and the Al-Khoei Foundation, and of course the Clothworkers Company for hosting us. Thank you very much.
Beloved brothers and sisters, be there in peace. Allow me to greet you with a Sikh traditional greeting. Vaheguru Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ki Fateh. The quest for peace from time immemorial is a continuing endeavor for humans. We yearn for peace within ourselves, within our families, communities and societies. We seek peace locally, nationally, internationally and globally. We all strive for peace and harmony in our homes. However, inner peace is a precursor to external peace. If we do not have peace within us, we will not generate peace. Please allow us to share with you a brief prayer from our scriptural teachings, which my young colleagues will sing for us. It draws a lamentable scenario of our troubled, suffering world. The elaboration is, the whole world is suffering, engulfed in the many destructive forces. We plead to you, God, through your mercy, please protect and save us. No matter which door or sanctuary or place of worship we come from, take us into the fold and refuge Pray, shelter, and protect us. Prayer to the Lord for seeking peace, I believe, will assist us in peace building. Peace is the most precious divine gift. Virtue-led education from conception, i.e. from mother's womb to our demise, is a necessity for establishing peace. Seeking peace necessitates stopping killings. Allow me to mention a proposed peace charter for forgiveness and reconciliation that we have been working on together with a group of committed colleagues for a number of years. It aims to raise awareness that to have peace and sustainable development, we need to forgive and reconcile. This must take place globally in all spheres of human relationships, within families, communities, and the wider society. Let us now hear the hymn being sung.
वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
It is for me to represent His Holiness the Dalai Lama here at this interfaith service. I would like to say thank you for Mr. Monawar for inviting us. Before I do the prayer, I would like to do a small dedication. It's better. Thank you, I think we can, His Holiness has spent his entire life for the humanity, and at his great age of 84 now, he is still relentlessly hoping the world will somehow find inner peace within ourselves. And this small prayer is a complete prayer that one looks at oneself to find the peace. And I think it would be very good for us to read this together, I think. A precious human life. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I am not going to waste it. I am going to use it. All my energies to develop myself, expand my heart out to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefits of all beings. I am going to have kind thoughts towards others. I am not going to get angry or think badly of others as much as I can. His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Thank you.
Thank you also for your many peace offerings this evening. I'm going to read the Metta Sutta, and it's the words of the Buddha Shakyamuni. In order that I may be skilled in discerning what is good, in order that I may understand the path to peace, let me be able, upright and straightforward, of good speech, gentle and free from pride. Let me be contented, easily satisfied, having few duties, living simply of controlled senses, prudent, without pride and without attachment to nation, race or other groups. Let me not do the slightest thing for which the wise might rebuke me. Instead, let me think, may all beings be well and safe. May they be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether moving or still, without exception, whether large, great, middling, or small, whether tiny or substantial, whether seen or unseen, whether living near or far, born or unborn, may all beings be happy. Let none deceive or despise another anywhere. Let none wish harm to another, in anger or in hate. Just as a mother would guard her child, her only child, with her own life, even so, let me cultivate a boundless mind for all beings in the world. Let me cultivate a boundless love for all beings in the world, above, below, and across, unhindered, without ill will or enmity. Standing, walking, seated or lying down, free from torpor, let me, as far as possible, fix my attention on this recollection. This, they say, is the divine life right here.
It is a testament to this country that we are able to do so, to be here today to exercise this freedom. It couldn't happen everywhere. It doesn't happen everywhere. It is an expression in itself of the secular values that underpin our society. As a humanist, as a human being, I'm grateful for those values. We are a successful society, a successful multi-ethnic, multi-faith, multi-belief democracy, where every individual is valued, regardless of faith, belief, skin colour, ethnicity, language, age, gender, and sexuality. Of course, society is always a work in progress. Our values need protecting and promoting, hence today. We must always be on the lookout for people who want to peddle bigotry, hatred, and violence, whether religious or political, and call it out. Name it and shame it, and every instance of it. We must never turn a blind eye, never walk on by, never pretend that we didn't hear something when we did. Silence in the presence of bigotry is an act of collusion. It lets hatred fester and grow. The extremist, the hater, the bigot wants to create outgroups, to say that this group should not be entitled to the rights that their own group enjoy. But that's not how rights work. Rights apply to everyone. They are universal. We have no outsiders. We are all part of this society. There is no us and them. Every individual in our society, regardless of faith, belief, skin colour, ethnicity, language, age, gender and sexuality, is born equal in free in dignity and rights. The extremists would disagree, but the extremist is wrong. Today we stand united for peace. Tomorrow we'll be back in our communities. Today is important, tomorrow no less so. For tomorrow and the tomorrows that follow, we must continue to stand for peace and continue to stand against extremism.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first part of our evening is indeed now at an end. And I have been asked to make some concluding remarks. And indeed, I have made some preparation to make some concluding remarks. But of course I haven't sat through this evening, so I'm pretty much going to tear up my concluding remarks and start again. The first thing I want to say is that I don't think there's anything to conclude. What Monawar Hussain has started is not to be concluded. This is just the very beginning. Because an event like tonight needs to take place in every corner of the land all the time. And what I have heard tonight is, I think, tremendously moving, tremendously beautiful, as each tradition brings its own beauty, its own praise, and its own dignity. And these are qualities we need throughout our society all the time. I very much agreed with much that Mr. Land had to say, my previous speaker, about there being no outsiders. I don't, of course, entirely agree with him in that, from the aspect of faith, in that I think the values we hold in this society stem from precisely that. We can gently disagree on that. But I do, my real job here tonight is to thank. And there is an awful lot of thanking to do. I don't really quite know where to start. But we were tremendously touched that Your Highness Prince of Wales, the Prime Minister, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Chief Rabbi, these many distinguished leaders of our community chose to support us. But I suppose the truth really is I'm most particularly grateful to every single faith tradition that came here tonight to stand up and bring their own truth and their own beauty. They are surely the real heroes of tonight. They and those who have supported Imam Hussain in the Oxford Foundation. And I can't name them all by name, but those of you who have helped him, and those of you who do help him, know exactly who you are. And so, when I say thank you, you know that I'm talking You see, the Oxford Foundation sounds quite large and rather imposing. But the truth is, it is a very small and chronically unfunded charity at the beginning of what I judge it to be an important journey. And the fact is, it is the vision of a single man, and it just shows what one man can actually do with a good heart and a real determination. I don't know how many of you know, but Monawar Hussain was moved, as he was, that he had been chosen to be a representative of Her Majesty the Queen of Oxfordshire, and decided that in grateful thanks for the trust that had been imposed on him, that he would like to dedicate himself to face the challenges of extremism that were rearing its ugly head in this land that has enjoyed a perennial peace by and large. And what the aim of the Oxford Foundation is quite simply to build bridges. To build, and this is the aim tonight, to reach out across the divides of difference and build bridges between us. And that is what we all must do. For as Edmund Burke said, all that is required for evil to triumph is that good men should do nothing. So the daily work of the Foundation is to build bridges, particularly where radicalization and extremism rears its ugly head, particularly in schools and amongst young people. That is the work we need your support for. Any gift, however small, will aid us in this work. It's very simple, really. Just write us a check. We cannot, sadly, yet claim to have changed the world, but the Foundation, under the Imam's inspired leadership, has at least made a start. In his own words, we have at least not done nothing. I think tonight makes that take sound rather modest. So, may I also finally end by particularly thanking the Clothworkers for their generous support and opening their doors to us, and how badly I think we need to continue this work, as I have said, all over the country. So, may I humbly ask that you be inspired by tonight, and know that whatever your origins, we really, really are all in this together, whether we like it or whether we don't. So be inspired to build your own bridges. And if, as a result of tonight, that has helped in any way, then tonight has not been in vain. Thank you all very much indeed.
Stand and repeat with me this pledge for peace for this evening. We have come together today as citizens of London and the United Kingdom. We pledge to stand united against those who propagate hate and violence towards others. We pledge to stand united against all forms of violent extremism. We pledge to live by the values that are inherent within our traditions. Values of compassion for the needy, love for thy neighbour, and respect for one another. We pledge to do all that we can to promote understanding, respect, respect, and mutual love for all. Amen. Thank you very much. That concludes this service. I'm grateful now if you make your way to the food hall for refreshments, and also please make an effort to introduce yourself to somebody who you've not spoken to or you do not know. Thank you very much. Thank you.